is Nickey Forster. I own a 5-star holiday accommodation business in Falstone, about 5 minutes from L.E.A.D.E.R, the beautiful destination of L.E.A.D.E.R in Northumberland. I'm here hopefully to talk about inspiring young people into hospitality in the county.
Could you tell us a little bit about how this business got started in the first place?
It got started as a result of us moving from the southeast as a family into Falstone. So we were coming here for personal reasons, but we knew obviously that what we were buying these barns that required an awful lot of work to convert, and the aim therefore was to provide us with an income in the country as well. So not only to move here, but actually to become part and parcel of this community, to work in it, to live in it, and to grow our kids in it. And that's exactly what we did.
And you picked Northumberland specifically. Was there any one thing that made you want to work here?
Well, we used to holiday here.
Oh.
I was a tourist.
Okay.
So I can't think of a better excuse really. It was about the beauty of the county, it was about the freedom of the county, it was also about the people, about the fact that there were quite slightly old-fashioned values, but that appealed to me because obviously I had young children, I was bringing up young children, and the freedom of living in an environment like this for children cannot be beaten.
Absolutely, fresh air is probably one of the best things.
Absolutely, fresh air and freedom, yes.
Would you say you're unique in Northumberland as a business?
I certainly think that when we started out, the impetus of the business was unique. I remember somebody saying in the background that it would be impossible for apartments, 5-star apartments, to work in Falstone. Who'd have thought? And here we are 6 years later, and we've made our stamp. And I think not only in this particular area, this particular destination of L.E.A.D.E.R, but also in the county as well. We've won tourism prizes. Our evaluations from guests in particular are extremely positive.
Yeah.
People's Smiles is what it's all about, because you don't do what I do, you don't push out what we push out here without passion and without a desire to please, and that is a fantastic reward. Hopefully that comes across very genuinely. It seems to from the evaluations we get back. And as I say, we have lots and lots of repeat business. So it's People Smile.
Yeah, Nickey's a great host, and really when you book over the internet, she immediately sends you an email, and she'll sometimes phone you. I don't know whether she does with everyone. I think she does, and just chats to you about coming. And she's always here when you come to greet you, and it's just a fantastic place to stay. Really, I love it here.
I'm a very small SME. I would regard myself as not unusual in Northumberland, because the people who start businesses like mine tend to be like-minded, and the amount of support that I've gained from people like myself who are doing similar stuff is incredible. That's one of the unique things about Northumberland, that this sort of network of individuals who kind of link up to work together.
What would you say to a young person who's thinking about starting a business in Northumberland? Do you have any words of advice?
I would say think very carefully about your vision. Have vision in the first place. Research. Absolutely, research your project. Find out as much as possible from people who are in the business about exactly what's happening in the business, what the trends are, where the future might lie. Have courage and be prepared to work really, really hard. And by that I mean, burn the midnight oil. 3 o'clock in the morning is not a problem if you want to succeed.
If a young person was interested in your organisation and in the future maybe wanted to work for you, do you have anything to say to them? What would the best attitudes be?
I think the best attitudes would be positivity, enthusiasm, willingness to graft really hard, be a people pleaser, make people smile. That's what it's all about in hospitality. Be genuine, and just keep going, basically. There are lots of, I always say to my children, there are lots of really clever people around, but it's not always the really clever ones that succeed. Sometimes it's the people who just stay the course, because sooner or later the clever ones might get bored and drop off, and then, hey, all of a sudden you cross the finishing line. And one of the philosophies of the business was to grow the business, obviously, but also to employ local people to enable that growth. And we've done that fairly successfully. We've used local people in the main for things like cleaning, for hospitality, for dining out, that kind of thing. And I think we've probably successfully been able to grow the local economy as a result of that. I'm particularly interested in young people because we live in a rural environment, and frankly they have limited options in terms of career, mainly because access to training is extremely difficult because it requires travelling, long distances, expensive therefore, and quite frankly sometimes out of people's grasp. So I'm particularly interested in local training for local people to enable them to step into rural pursuits, rural careers that aren't just classic rural careers, agriculture.
Have you met any young people who have expressed an interest in what you do personally, as in interior design?
Yes, most certainly, but the difficulty is always about training again, and sometimes it's just a case of getting a foot in the door. If there's a particular interest there, sometimes a short course might lead to enthusiasm towards doing something on another level, and at the moment there isn't that opportunity, and I'm quite interested in investigating the possibility of those opportunities.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, John.